They vanished in silence. No Amber Alert, no anything, no headlines, just gone.
¿Qué piensas acerca del child trafficking?
Me parece terrible y me parece aún más terrible que nosotros como seres humanos sigamos viviendo como si eso no pasara. No generamos ningún cambio.
Every year, millions of kids are being trafficked, abused, exploited, and sold like property. Yet, most of the world don't see it. This is a story we refuse to see. So, what really is child trafficking? Child trafficking is the recruiting transportation of minors. The exploitation of minors often happens with labor, sexual, and other things. According to the UN, children now make up to 1 out of 3 human trafficking victims. Girls are often sold into sexual activity, boys into labor and gangs globally. And now with social media, it's getting even worse. As well as with the immigration crisis, the numbers keep growing globally. So what is the role of immigration and social media nowadays with the child trafficking? In Latin America and all over the USA border, traffickers prey on families who are in crisis, and they offer them false things, such as jobs, education, and safety. But many of them obviously never reach safety. As well as social media, it's also become a great weapon. Predators now use social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and others. Sometimes even pretending to be kids or teenagers, slipping into their DMs, pretending and talking, having conversations like friends would. Within days, these kids are trapped physically, emotionally, and digitally. A movie came out a few years back called The Sound of Freedom. In 2023, this film was released, and the impact it had on the community. It stunned the audience with its raw interaction of what really is happening. No cherry on top, but the actual description of how sex trafficking with children is happening as we speak. This story is inspired after Tim Ballard, a former USA agent, left home security to rescue children. This film is based on real missions led by the OR, meaning Operation Railroad Underground. Ballard's team have saved over thousands of children now, risking their own lives to go across Colombia, Haiti, and other countries. Really what shocked the audience, it wasn't the fact that all of this is happening, but the lack of people speaking up about it.
Tenemos que entender que, número uno, es un negocio para muchas personas y ellos no van a querer que ese negocio se termine. Pero número dos, tenemos que entender también que esos niños, muchos de esos niños no tienen familia, otros sí tienen familia. Entonces debemos unirnos para no permitir que eso continúe. Número tres, creo que se deben hacer diferentes leyes en el gobierno que tengan condenas más severas para que toda esta gente que trafica con niños pueda dar un pare o por lo menos tener un poco de miedo. Cuarto, ser más humanos. Entender que hay niños que están sufriendo, niños que están en la calle y generar también espacios para que los niños puedan estar seguros. Quinto, podemos también donar a las organizaciones que ya lo están haciendo y de esa forma ayudar a que las cosas no sigan estando en silencio, sino puedan ser más públicas.
This film was actually initially rejected by filmmakers. Some major studios even tried to shut it down. Why would they want to shut something like this down? Because child trafficking is not something we want to watch or talk about. And it makes it harder for us to let go of it when we know it's happening closer than we think it is.
People who go through this often say that the scars of trafficking is not deep long after a child is rescued. Survivors often suffer from PTSD, depression, substance use, and lifelong trust issues. Many struggle to reintegrate into society, attend school, or form relationships. Without long-term trauma care, the cycle of abuse can continue, and in some cases, children are re-trafficked. Rescue is only the beginning. Healing takes years. A system of support is essential.
And still we have the question of why the awareness on this topic is still very low. We start seeing empty classes, police and the government ignoring the calls, and news networks decide to cover other stories that to them seem more relevant. So why don't we talk about it? Because it's uncomfortable, because it's complex, because it often involves powerful systems greater than us, immigration, politics, and internet.
Let me tell you one thing, traffickers do not look like monsters.
Sometimes they're like you and I, relative, coaches, teachers. The person who takes care of you. Because real justice would require for all of us to care, to pressure the government, to demand transparency in the system, and to fund recovery bigger than we think it is. And it requires a lot from all of us. And we're not there yet. Trafficking isn't a faraway crisis. It's right here, right now. Online, in schools, at home, inside our community, all over our country's borders. But awareness is power, and it's the power we need. We cannot stop this. We cannot end it, but what we can do is reduce the numbers. Be the voice, stand for those who don't have